Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm your host today, Veronique Arsenault, joined, of course, by my incredible co-host, Judy Loge.
I don't know about incredible,
Yes.
but you are, and I'm happy to be here with you and our viewers on this hot, steamy day in July.
It is a very hot, steamy one here in Miramichi. We are, of course, in Miramichi, and although we are broadcasting across the province, but it is warm.
Yeah, I love it.
It's very warm.
I know.
Yeah,
But I won't complain, Veronique, because I hate winter.
I didn't, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I try not to complain about the heat because I do find the winters tough.
Yeah.
I realize the older I get, the worse they are.
Yes.
But yeah, I do find, it's steamy.
Yeah, it is.
It's steamy today. But so we've been off for a little bit. We were off last week, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we're going to kick off the show, as we always do, with your quote.
And it's a short, sweet quote with a little bit of punch behind it.
Yes.
It reads, "The things that we love tell us what we are." And that is by Thomas Aquinas, the Italian priest and, of course, influential philosopher.
Yeah, and it's and I love that because it is true. The things that we put our energy behind, our passion behind, our love of, really speaks to our character.
What are some things that you love that would tell me more about you? Like, I'll start off with, I love, if I'm going to sleep, I love a rainy night. And it lulls me, and it shows some kind of like, that means that that's my time to find that peace and balance from the day where it's been very hectic and my life's very straight out. I don't want rain in the daytime, but at night, I welcome it. I love the sun, which speaks to my personality because I know I'm pretty sunny in my disposition.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I love the ocean because, again, it brings me calm and peace in this busy, hectic lifestyle.
Yeah, I love watching the river go by.
Okay.
I love watching the river go by because there was a quote I saw that said something along the lines, I'm not going to get this right, but the river never touches the same thing twice, right?
Beautiful.
So you need to let go of all of that stuff and keep moving, and wash away, whatever's holding you back because, and you'll never have this moment again, right?
Exactly.
Like appreciate what you've got and where you are and all of that because you'll never have that moment again. You'll have great moments, it's not saying that, but not that particular moment. So
the other thing I absolutely love, is the first sighting of a robin.
Oh, neat.
It makes my whole spring.
Yeah.
I think it's, again, for me, it says I love the sense of a new beginning, a new chapter, a period of renewal. I love a robin.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I love that very first snowfall.
Can't talk to you anymore, Veronique. Sorry.
It just seems so peaceful to me.
Oh, yeah.
And like when you look out and it's so clean and everything's blanketed in that beautiful glistening white, I don't want it to stay, let me be clear. But I do love that I don't like any of it after that, but I do love that very first snowfall.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of things, and especially music. Music is something that tells me about my personality because I love it all.
Yeah.
So I guess that would indicate that I'm a pretty well-rounded person because I like everything from Patsy Cline to AC/DC.
Yeah.
So what would be more of a range than that, right?
Yeah,
and I love everything in between except rap. And my boy went to a rap concert and he said, "Mom, you wouldn't enjoy this." I said, "No, I would not."
No.
I appreciate their talent, but other than that, I have a wide array of music that I love, which says that I'm pretty, I'm pretty accepting.
Yeah. And for me, I talk about it all the time that I have no musical talent. I sing. Nobody should ever hear me sing. I sing. But I love and appreciate those who are so much more talented than I am, whether it be art or music or, writing or whatever. I truly appreciate those who have a talent and share it.
Yes.
Because I'm just in awe, because I would love to sing, especially. I would love to be able to sing. Like I said, I will belt a tune with my whole chest.
Yes.
Should never be heard in public by anyone, but I do it.
Okay. do it bigger. You know what else I love? Clothes.
No.
Okay, so that's the end of that discussion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think that's fantastic. But so for those that don't know, just before we went on break, right after our last show, our very dear Judy celebrated a birthday.
Oh, yes. my 25th again. Oh,
Yeah.
no, 55th. No, what is it? I forget.
You're 25 with 25 years experience?
Exactly. Plus.
Yeah.
Get that in
But because of your birthday, you went on a little adventure with Gerard.
Yeah, it was so nice, and I think that's really necessary time. We both lead a very busy lifestyle,
Absolutely.
which we choose. And so I think after being married for coming up to 36 years and being together for 4 or 5 years before that, that is what couples do need, is that alone time,
Yeah.
away time. Escape from people that you know and have to talk to and share your time with, and just have you and your husband together, or your love, or it could be a woman with a woman, it doesn't matter, but that time. And so he surprised me, and he put me on a plane in Halifax, and we landed in New York, and I was excited to pieces because it's a city that I love, and it's not for everybody. It's you know
I
how
love New York.
we've been there together. We've shared times there together. I've been going since the 80s. I happen to really come to life in New York. I love the buzz. I love the options. I love many restaurants and all of that. So he booked 3 different Broadway plays. And one of them was the Neil Diamond life story, A Beautiful Noise.
Wow.
And to think that anybody could equal almost the voice of Neil Diamond to me was shocking in itself, because Neil Diamond, I think, is probably, aside from Elton John, my favorite voice out there.
Interesting.
Of all time.
Yeah.
And Andrea Bocelli. But I do think that Neil Diamond was incredible and is incredible. So that to me was a huge hit. And I got to have my picture afterwards with the star who won 2015 American Idol.
Yeah.
He's as nice as he is talented. A Beautiful Noise is gone now. It finished on June 30th, but it may show somewhere else. We saw The Notebook.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and so he booked that because he knew it was my favorite movie. But to be truthful, I was let down.
Oh, interesting.
It has been sold out show after show. They're lined up to get in there. It was a little different. I won't give it away, what I found weird about it. I will say that the music wasn't what I would have hoped for, upbeat and moving.
Interesting.
Because they had to create the songs, right? And the songs to me were a little bit dreary and a little bit draggy and a little bit whatever. So I think it was overrated in my humble opinion.
Well, it's funny because I cannot imagine, because of course I've seen the movie a couple of times, but I cannot imagine it as a Broadway musical.
No, but I really have my hopes up, and I wouldn't want to disappoint anybody that might go and think it's just
might love it.
Beautiful and incredible show. Go see it. But for me, I was, and Gerard too. We thought,
not your cup
because
of
I
tea.
think before that the night before we had seen The Outsiders, which was spectacular in every sense, and I would go every night. If I could go every night, I would go every night.
Really, eh?
It was that good.
One of my favorite Broadway musicals that I saw with you and Gerard and the rest of the family, was Young Frankenstein.
Oh my.
It was one of my favorites.
Yes, and my boys and
we
Dan,
laughed
we
out
laughed.
loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Jersey Boys. Like,
that was fantastic.
So many that, but I think in all the years I've been going to theater, that aside from the Neil Diamond, A Beautiful Noise, that The Outsiders would be I've seen many.
Yeah.
But that would be it.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what one I've never seen and want to desperately, and everybody has seen it, is Wicked.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
See, I really, for years, have wanted to see it.
I saw it and it didn't move me, but I know people that went 6 and 7 times.
Yeah.
And Hamilton, I saw in Chicago, but I would say if you get a chance to go to Hamilton, go.
Amazing.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
And so, Veronique, and what about you? How have you been doing this summer?
It's been busy, absolutely. But you know what? One of my favorite days of the year here in Miramichi in particular is Canada Day.
Of course.
Because there is so much going on. And every year for the last 12 years, it has kicked off, not every year because there was a little lull, of course, in COVID there, but it was the 12th year this year of the Fisherman Powwow.
Whoa.
Right downtown on Waterford Green, and it kicked off at 6:30 in the morning with the sunrise ceremony.
You were there.
And it is so powerful every year. And I learn something new every year, and it grows every year. There had to have been, I'm not good at estimating crowd sizes, I'll be honest, but there was 50 or 60, at least 50 or 60 people there, all gathered in a circle, and there was the sacred fire and the honor song, and just a sharing of learning and you know, and at the end, I forgot that they did this last year, but at the end, everybody goes through the circle because you're all in a circle on Waterford Green, and every person hugs every person in that circle,
so nice.
and says good morning, and you know, and wishes, kind of, you know, sends good wishes. So
Good.
it was a beautiful kickstart to that morning, and then the grand entry, we went actually then over to the pancake breakfast at the Newcastle Lions Club.
Yum.
And then the grand entry for the powwow, and then we were back and forth all day.
Yeah.
So both downtown business districts had events happening from morning till night.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing. Like the historic Chatham Business District had, you know, chalk art and a magician and entertainment. The Nelson Doyle dancers performed. And then if you headed over to the Newcastle Business District, there was the cake cutting and the flag raising and entertainment all day as well. And then the parade. And it had to have been one of the bigger parades that I've seen.
Perfect. And I'm totally patriotic. I'm a proud Canadian woman, but because of my birthday falling on June 27th and being whisked away, we stayed the weekend. Like I thought of everyone in Canada, you know, but now, you know, I want to be hopefully here for the next celebration.
Oh yeah, but it was wonderful. Like, and I think it was the biggest crowd for the parade, like not necessarily the most participants in the parade, but the biggest crowd for the parade for sure.
And you went to Susan Butler's concert?
Of course I did the night before.
Yes.
And you know what? And you know, it was at St. Mary's Church, and it was absolutely beautiful.
It
you know,
always would be.
The villagers were there, the Miramichi fiddlers, and like just some wonderful performers.
Beautiful.
And of course I walked out with some of Susan's fudge.
The best.
Yeah.
What is it that she makes, right?
It was so good, but it was a wonderful.
Good.
It was a wonderful weekend. It was a packed weekend, and I really enjoyed it. But so you know, like I said, it's one of my favorite days of the year.
I have no wedding. Oh yes, I do have a wedding coming up. It's in September. This is really nice. So my father and mother were married on September 1st. Bruce, my brother, and his wife, my only brother, were married on September 1st. And now Aiden, his son, is getting married on September 1st. So it's 3 generations, and it's really heartwarming.
Yes.
And so we had the shower. They live in Montreal, but because he's from Fredericton and has a lot of family in that area, he and Karina, who is from Montreal, will be coming home to celebrate. So we had a lovely shower. I love those moments of celebration, like whether it be a wedding or a shower or a graduation, because it's happy. And we've been hit so hard with heaviness during COVID and post-COVID, and it's been a weight on everybody, I find. And so I look forward to these opportunities. And then Evan had a celebration, our son, after a long, you know, let's just say from grade 1 and then 12 years of that schooling, and then medical degree, and now he's a cardiologist. So we're proud of him and his work and his motivation to become a specialist. And he's just the nicest guy, to put it. You know what I mean? I have to say he's my son, but he's also the sweetest boy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, so proud of Evan, absolutely. And actually, all of my cousins are pretty fabulous.
Yes, including yourself.
No, but I lucked in on the family dynamic there, because all of my cousins are pretty fabulous.
And they're pretty sweet.
Yeah,
they all get along.
They're actually nice people.
They are.
Like,
very
that's, you
nice
know what?
people. There's no attitude.
Yeah, like they're actually really nice people, which is a wonderful family trait.
Humble.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
Absolutely.
That's one of the words that sticks out.
Absolutely. So you have a thought-provoking question.
Oh yeah, I pulled out a thought-provoking question for you and for me. And where did I tuck that question? Because I think it's kind of nice. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And do I have it? No.
Did you lose it? Did it disappear?
Yeah.
Something around.
I was going to ask
misconceptions.
you. Okay. I'm just trying to think if I was going to add. What are some, Veronique, of the misconceptions that you would say people direct towards yourself? What do you think they think that is not true?
And I think some of it is at me, but I think also in general they have this misconception that someone who is kind is weak.
Oh.
You know, that you cannot. So I work very hard at being a kind person.
You are.
Right? Being a kind person is a choice. A lot of people are nice, And that's, generally who they are. But I work very hard at being kind because I try to, have empathy and understand where people are coming from. But having said that, I think sometimes people think that because I am generally a kind or nice person, that I can't, or that I don't stand firm in my decisions, or can't make decisions, or tough decisions. And that is definitely a misconception, I think, around kind people in general, but also around me, because I have managed teams of 150 throughout my career very well. And that is like, I am very driven in what I do, and I make the best decisions with the information I have in front of me, but stand very firm in my decisions as well when I have to make them. Not that I can't see other people's perspectives and change my mind if it's appropriate, but when I make a decision or when I assess a situation, I am very comfortable in that and in moving forward with that.
And I find you have a great sense of control, sense of if somebody is out of control, that you can bring them in, and you're an exceptional listener. And listening is so key to being a good leader. Like it's essential.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think? We have 2 minutes left, Judy, but what do you think some misconception or a misconception might be out there around you?
I really and truly think that a lot of people that don't know me, do not know me well or know me at all, think that I'm not sincere, that I might be phony. They don't realize that I have been born with this happy disposition. Now, not to say I can't get mean or like speak up or be a whatever, but in general, I'm a very happy person, and I like to smile, and I like to be positive, and it's like, how can she be that? She can't be for real. I had a man apologize to me for getting to know me and having thought previously that I was not the real deal. And he said, you are the real deal. And he said, you're genuine and authentic. And he said, it took me a while to realize that there are people that are that nice. Now, it's not to say that I'm always nice, but 90% of the time, what you see is what you get.
Love it. Absolutely true. So don't go too far, everybody. We're going to take a break and grab something cool, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Yep.
Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm your host today, Veronique Arsenault, joined of course by my most wonderful co-host, Judy Loge.
Thank you, and thank you for the welcome, and back at you for being wonderful, Vera.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're just happy to be together on this Monday.
That's right.
You know what? We have a wonderful guest that is also joining us. Susan Butler, we were raving about your fudge in the last segment.
Thank you.
Did you bring us some?
No, I'm sorry.
We should have made that a condition of the show.
I'm joking. I've had so much of her fudge like that. Probably getting zits now.
No, I went home with 2 bags.
Beautiful.
You could afford to eat more of it.
But I do.
We all do. Yeah, we both do.
You love it.
But Susan, you're here actually to talk about the upcoming Folk Song Festival,
right.
the Miramichi Folk Song Festival, and you were the director of the Folk Song
For
Festival
40 years out of 67.
40 years.
Yeah, it's
Susan.
unbelievable.
So but I'm still very, very involved because Melanie Ross Breen, who is the now new director, has done a phenomenal job on this year's festival. Great lineup.
Yes.
David Mods is one of our big stars.
Can't
of
wait
the
to hear all
festival.
about it.
But anyway, no, she. This took a lot of time and choosing the type of acts that you would want.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
And we're back with our noon luncheon again, which I must say that reservations may be made for the first sitting, which they are. We've already got about 20 reservations made already. So
Good.
that's
But
on
Susan,
the
for
Friday.
those out there who might not know you, which I can't imagine that there would be many people across the province, but for those who don't know you, tell us a bit about you.
Well, I'm a double butler. Double trouble, like different people have said.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I was born and raised in Miramichi. I live out on the CI Road, and I'm the daughter of Charles and Cecilia Butler, and I married a butler from Barnaby River, Grace
Isn't
and
that funny,
Joe
eh?
Butlers.
Yeah.
Double butler.
Yeah.
I'm a double butler, double trouble, as they say.
Yeah.
But music has been a big part of my life. I was educated at St. Mary's Convent and taught by the C&D sisters with music, and I don't know what, if I didn't have my music, I don't know who do. It's so, and what's so beautiful about it, it's a universal language, you know, and I've been very blessed.
Yeah. And you're so right though about that universal language, because you know you often hear songs in a different language and you're still moved by, even though you don't understand a word, right?
No,
you're still moved by the melody or the singer or whatever it may be. You know that it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And you know, with the festival, it's Canada's longest standing folk song festival, you know. And I'm trying to remember that message that Louise Manny wrote in her book, "What's a tree without its roots? What's a people without its past?"
Yeah.
And that's so true,
That
you know.
is a nice
and
one.
the folk songs are like the Saturday afternoon show would be basically the down to earth Miramichi folk songs that will be there. But as I said, this year our official opening, which was always on the Thursday night, is going to be on Thursday afternoon at Parklands, down on the bank of the river. It's just a gorgeous spot there. And we had a concert down there last year, so this year we decided that we'd go with the official opening down there. So all the dignitaries would be down there. We'll have a piper pipe them in just like we would at the theater. So, and all the shows are at the Kin Center except for David Miles' show, which is on the Sunday night at Carrefour Beausoleil.
Beautiful.
And I'm telling people that, because I've been selling tickets to Calgary, Montreal, and we only have a 350 seating.
Yes.
And what's nice about it, David's going to do half the show, and then there's going to be a songwriter circle.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so that's going to be really, really, really
Something
nice.
new.
Wow.
Yeah, something new. And we're going. A number of years we had the New Brunswick Day Breakfast, so we haven't had that for a while, so we're going to have that this year. And we're going to end up with the New Brunswick Day Breakfast with live music. We've got pancakes and sausages and homemade beans and homemade biscuits.
Okay, Susan, lunchtime at my stomach.
I know.
And we stress homemade, because we do. We do that.
Absolutely.
Always the best. So tell the viewers and Veronique and I about, you know, some of the history behind the Folk Song Festival and how it's evolved over the years.
Well, you know, I have to give credit to Beaverbrook because he, like Louise Manny didn't have a music bone in her body.
Right.
And when he approached her, when she was the first librarian here in Miramichi, he told her, "I want you to go out and collect the folk songs of theirs." She said, "There's no such things." And he said, "Sure there is." And he started to sing a little ditty about the Jones boys. So he said, "I'll get a recording device for you." And he had one ordered from England. And then he said, "Get someone to go with you." So he got Bessie Crocker, who had a little more knowledge of music than anything. So she went out the highways and the byways, and never did she realize the wealth of folklore in the Miramichi area.
Yeah.
In fact, it ended up with the three collections. There was the Beaverbrook collection, the North Shore collection, and the Louise Manny collection. And from all those songs that were collected, she was a friend of Dr. Wilson from up Doketown way, but he traveled the world. He was a great entertainer. Anyway, he took all those songs, and can you imagine just, he's an ethnomusicologist, I should say, he's now passed on. But anyway, he sat down and listened to every one of those tapes and wrote the music out for them.
My God.
And that's why that Louise Manny had that book, Songs of the Miramichi, which I'm sorry that's no longer in print, but I'm going to see if we can do something about bringing it back.
Yeah.
But anyway, and that was that motto I was saying to you about, that she had in the front of the book. But anyway, they put that book together, and that was her worst nightmare. She wasn't in good health at the time when it was being published, and her dream was to live long enough to see her book published, and she did. And her last wish was that keep the festival alive, and we've been doing that.
You did honor that.
incredible.
The whole thing to me is fascinating, though, about all of this folklore.
And the best of it, when I took it over in 1983, I didn't have 2 cents to work with.
Really?
That would be lovely.
I went around and bummed. And I mean, some gave me $5, some gave me $10. The government gave me $2.
Would you?
Sorry, $200.
Oh my goodness!
And anyway, some of the performers, they were used to getting
Big
money, you know.
Yeah.
So one old fella said, "Not getting any money this year, we're just going to get a piece of wood because they were all given
Yeah.
Plaque.
with a number of years that they had performed, you know. But anyway, that was how I started raising the funds for the festival.
Susan,
Wow.
so what how is it, I know you're part of this reason, but how is it that after 67 years, the Miramichi Folk Song Festival is still around? Like, what sets it apart from other festivals in Canada?
Good question.
It's a good question, and I keep saying to myself, I have the same energy this year as I had 40 some years ago.
Really?
And my philosophy always has been, if you don't enjoy it, don't do it.
Right.
But not only that, when you get the support and the people want it, you know, and we always have a little book where if you want to make remarks or anything, we accept the positive and we
Right.
accept the negative as well.
Yeah.
In fact, you build on the negative, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
So and I think it's. I think the size probably is one factor that why we've kept going for so long, and the family atmosphere. Like we go out of our way. The group of people that work with me are like family.
Love them.
Well, and you have incredibly dedicated volunteers.
Oh, I do.
That come year
That's
after
right.
year after year.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And plus they help you fundraise throughout the year.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. No. It's I wonder too. You know, like. My husband said, well, when you're long gone, it's going to be long gone. I said, no, it's not. I said, and when Melanie took it over, somebody said, oh, she'll never fill your shoes. I said, she's not supposed to fill my shoes.
Right.
She fills her own shoes.
Yeah.
She goes in her own direction, and that is what she's doing, and she's doing a marvelous job.
And she builds on the knowledge that you've shared with her,
That's right.
and you make a great team.
Each
That's
of
right.
you extremely
Yeah.
special and talented in your own separate ways.
That's right.
And gifted,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Absolutely.
How do you select the artists, the performers that take part in the festival every year?
Well, some that we bring it back as like Ivan and Vivian Hicks.
Yes.
Like as I said, they've been with us for 40 years. But we try to find out what the public like as well. They want the old, but they also want the new. You have to have a drawing card, and like this year's David Miles is our drawing card. But we've had them from everywhere, from Buffy St. Marie to Stop and Tom to Tommy Hunter, Rita McNeil, Men of the Deeps, Charlie Pride.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh,
Yeah.
yes, they've had them all.
Yeah, we've had them all really.
Beautiful.
Carol Baker,
Yeah.
different ones, you know.
Yeah.
Something to be
And,
proud of. And
Yeah, it is. you
the
know.
relationships you've formed with them,
Yeah.
connections you've made.
It's been some wonderful people,
Yeah.
and it's people that you wouldn't think are down to earth, but are very much down to earth,
yeah.
you know, and love the Miramichi.
Good.
I love the Miramichi. And like even Frank Patterson, I remember when I brought him for a fundraising concert for a monument for Louise Mannion, and I remember Monsignor Hickey, God rest his soul, saying, oh, you'll never get Frank Patterson. So I said, well, my philosophy is, you don't know until you ask.
Right.
And he came.
And when I called and he said, where is this Miramichi? He said, and I said, well, it's Miramichi. He said, well, I think I would like to come to Miramichi. And I'll never, we packed James M. Hill.
Yes, I was
And
there.
we had a bus from St. John,
Yeah.
and oh no,
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
One of my best evenings.
that was probably the first act that I had pursued outside of our local people, you know.
I loved
And,
that concert.
and he came back. Then the Irish Festival brought him back after that, and so I think he came to Miramichi probably 5 times.
Super. Well, we offer a lot here, I have to say.
I agree.
Yeah.
But you
We
know what?
do.
And we had the same last year with the Irish Festival in getting Steve Murphy to come.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
He's
You know,
amazing.
like
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And this past week, you probably heard on TV, Steve Boyd
yes.
died. I had him here
Oh, I
for
know.
2013, I think it
Yeah.
was. A really,
Very
really
sad.
nice guy. Yeah, he was
Only
only
young.
60. He was
Ah.
only 60.
That's
Or ish,
Yeah.
60 something.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
young. I'm going to be 52, so I feel like that's young.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
Yeah. So, for people who don't know what the Folk Song Festival is like, and that can't be very many people at this point, but like, talk to us a little bit about how the weekend unfolds and like, what can they expect?
Well, first of all, we have our flag raising at 11 o'clock on Thursday morning. And then 2 o'clock in the afternoon will be the official opening at the Parklands on the river.
And pardon me, Susan, the dates for all this. So beginning
Starts
August
Thursday, August the 1st to Monday, August the 5th.
Perfect,
Yeah.
listeners. Okay.
But anyway, the people that are coming down to Parklands, bring a lawn chair, and it wouldn't hurt to bring an umbrella if it's very, very hot, or
Yes.
let's hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
And then there's evening shows, Friday night, and Thursday night and Friday night, and then Saturday afternoon there's a show at 2 o'clock. Then there's the pub. This is something new that Melanie put together 2 years ago, and we have Ian and Roy, and then we have Rob Curry and the Corner Boys.
Love
so
them.
that's going to
Love
be
them.
awesome.
Yes.
Rob.
My
And then-
neighbor.
And then Sunday rather, we have, this is something new with Melanie too, it's an old-fashioned kitchen party, and it's hosted by the Miramichi Fiddlers.
There's a lot.
And this is just a donation at the door, and there's even a little lunch served to them at intermission. But it's a lovely afternoon. If people get up and dance, and you name it, and the fiddlers and singers they have for the afternoon. And then in the evening, of course, is David Miles. And then on Monday morning will be the official closing New Brunswick Day Breakfast with live music as well. And tickets for all the evening shows are at Brookdale Flower Shop.
All right.
The only tickets that you can't buy in advance would be the New Brunswick Day Breakfast, the noon luncheon, and the children's show. They're bought at the door. But I must say, with regards to the noon luncheon, which is Kevin Driscoll's famous recipe for meatloaf,
Dear Kevin.
vegetables, mini potatoes, rolls, tea and coffee, and my homemade blueberry cake with brown sugar
That
sauce.
sounds so divine.
And music, so you know, so it's going to be. But I've already got about 20 reservations made already.
Yeah.
But we can take 100 reservations for the first sitting,
Okay.
and then what they do when the seats are filled up, they're given another number, and they sit down in the hall. The hall is divided up. There's 12 tables at the back, and then the rest of the seats are in the front. And we encourage the people, once they're finished their meal, to sit up in the front.
Right.
So we just keep
Okay.
it rotating.
My gosh almighty.
That's incredible.
And there's an incredible amount of planning and organization that goes
Oh,
into
yes.
this, starting about when and till right up to date. Like, when do you sit down for your first, let's get this together idea for the festival?
The end of August, because we have to have our grant in for Heritage Canada
Yeah.
in September.
Aha.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No. And to be so successful.
So during the week you're thinking of different names, you know, and like a couple of years ago I tried to get David Miles, and of course he was just so busy, you know. But anyway, so we're putting our thinking caps on now for see what Melanie has up her sleeve.
Right, but lots of ahead planning.
Yeah. Oh yes, you have to.
time-consuming.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think most people wouldn't realize that
No.
these volunteer groups like yourself would plan all year round.
Yes.
Yeah, it's incredible. But we only have 3 minutes left, which is hard to believe. But you have a dedicated roster of volunteers that help you every year. But for people who might be either new to the region or just want to jump in and help, do you how would they get involved with helping you?
Well, I'll have to say I'm very particular of my volunteers. You know, you can get some that want to work and some that don't want to work. I've had a few that, but I have to say the majority, 90% of my volunteers have been very, very down to earth. In fact, I have a couple of new ones this year. And but no, if they're very sincere and want to, all they have to do is give me a call.
And be willing to put the work in.
That's right. And of course, we have a number of students that we use,
Right.
especially for the canteen and for serving the meals, because we have a wonderful system for the meals. When you come in, you're given a number. And when you go and sit down, at the desk or at the counter where the meals are coming through, there's a stack of those numbers that match the numbers of the people up there.
Okay, yeah.
So the students go out with the plate and they hold up the number. So you hold up your number, or you don't get your meal. This way we don't miss anybody.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Really well organized.
And you know who started that? And they're all married now. They were kids, Frankie McKibben and Aaron Johnson.
Oh yeah.
We were having a problem when we were starting. I said, how can we do that? So the two of them sat down, they devised this system, and it's perfect.
It is.
They're laminated, the numbers. We have 2 sets.
Yeah.
One goes to you, the other one goes to the kitchen.
Perfect.
And
Good
then,
thinking.
And then we mark down when there's some and we also cater to those if they're celiac or if they're diabetic.
Right.
And what we do is we write it's the number down and what if they're a celiac or not, and then somebody goes around before the meals start, and then they check the numbers and mark it stick around.
amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Everyone's
So-
looked after.
In our last minute, because how do people get tickets?
Well, the tickets are on sale at Brookdale Flower Shop. I also sell them online through PayPal or e-transfer to my email address.
Perfect.
And but the majority are all at Brookdale Flower Shop.
Amazing. So we want to thank Susan for joining us today. Don't miss the Folk Song Festival, and we'll see you right after this break. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I am joined, as always, by my fantastic co-host, Judy Loge.
It's always a pleasure, and
Yes.
to be with our viewers, and to have this show every
I
week,
know.
and it's been ongoing for a long time.
I know,
so.
it's wonderful. And no, just really, and we had a great discussion with Susan Butler
Wonderful.
about the 67th
I know.
Miramichi Folk Song Festival.
Of which she was part of it, the one that instrumented it 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been the director
Like
for 40
for
years.
40 years she directed
Yeah,
that.
for 40 years.
That's
Yeah,
mind-blowing.
it's incredible. But we have another one here.
Yes.
So Karen Howe is joining us now, and she is the president of the 41st Canada's Irish Festival on the Miramichi, which has been going on for 41 years.
Yeah, hard to believe actually, because I went to the first one, and obviously I must have been like just a newborn.
Baby, a baby. Yeah.
Maybe not even born yet.
I don't know. Yeah, you were a thought.
It's a thought.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, and I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But so Karen, so you are the chair this year. But for those who don't know you out there,
Right.
tell us a bit about you.
Well, I'm Miramichi born and raised. I've been part of the festival for a few years. I can't exactly tell you how many.
I think you and I are pretty close to the same amount of years.
Yeah, like I was involved back when Jerry
Yeah.
was president, and then
Yeah.
I was away for a bit because
Yep.
we lived away, and then I came back when
Yep.
it moved down to the waterfront, and I've been sort
Yeah.
of, since then. But I'm from here. I have a husband and a couple of kids and 3 grandkids and 1 grandchild on the way. And,
Oh, my.
Yeah. So
Life's
this is my
good.
this is my home. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
grandkids keep you busy.
They do. They do. And they're adorable.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Of course.
you
One of
can't.
the best joys in life.
Yeah,
Yep.
they are.
So can you, Karen, give us a taste of what attendees can expect at the Canada's Irish Festival in the Miramichi this year?
So, this festival, it's been 41 years. So, every year is more or less the same, but little bits of
Yeah.
things that change here and there. So, we always have local entertainers that perform a wide variety of maritime, Celtic, local music. And then we have our from away entertainers usually that are the big headliners, and those are our pubs. And every year we have the Nelson Doyle dancers. We don't have any this year, but there's sometimes there's a play where things are involved that tell stories that are familiar to us and to the Irish culture. We have our genealogy people where you can go and research your Irish roots. There's all kinds of stuff going on, really. We have our walking parade on Saturday where the
Yes.
families get together, which is always fun.
I love that one because
Yeah.
like you get to see, and it very literally is a walking parade. There's
Yes.
no like motorized contraptions in it,
Right.
we'll call it. But and everybody lines up, along
With their
the-
family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you see like I think there was one year I think we had about 900 participants in
So-
it, which
Yeah,
and,
it's
and they
amazing.
come
It's
as families,
amazing.
which I love.
Yeah,
People flock to this festival. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge event, and
Yeah.
you were president last year, and
Yep.
you know what Karen's in for. It doesn't happen. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work. It's a huge
is.
undertaking to
It
be
is.
to be overseeing that in your
Right.
role.
That's
But
right.
you're going to do a good job.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the history. Like how did we get started 41 years ago?
You know what? A group of people with an Irish cultural background, I guess, got together. They at the same time as they were setting up the festival, they set up the Irish Cultural Association, and the two groups were a lot of the same people, but they set those two things up because we have such a deep connection to Ireland. I mean, if you drive around and look at family names, it's, you know, you could be driving right through Ireland. Now we do have a huge Scottish component to our, and a huge Acadian component to our population, and now some immigrants. But the original idea was that we are such an Irish community that it was something to celebrate and promote.
Yeah. So what you just touched on, the performers that are coming, bands, pub type events. So specify those.
So the pub on Friday night is Miramichi, and they're a group out of the States, and they performed on St. Patrick's Day at the Civic Center here. They do Irish and Celtic type music. And then on Saturday night we have two like international bands. We have the Irish Descendants, who I dearly love, and I've been listening to for long time.
Yes.
You want to say
a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. So and the Irish Descendants, well, they're well known for their style of music. You know, very very traditional, very maritime, very Celtic. And then the closing band is another international band, the Mahones. And the Mahones they're a bit more of they're veering into punk, but not quite punk Celtic. But they're a very lively band. They deliver an amazing performance, and they're fantastic. And
so they would draw in the young people, people at my age.
Yes.
They would engage you.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Even though they're punkish,
Yeah.
I can be an old punk
Oh,
gal.
I mean, yes. I mean, I love their music.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know, and but I mean, my style, well, I'm like you. I have a very wide range in musical tastes.
Love it all.
But I do love their music, and
Good
they
to know.
are very lively and very engaging. It's
Very good to know. That'll
fantastic.
just be packed for sure.
Oh,
All three of those events.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about the Irish Festival. Truly, is that it's a multi-generational event.
It's
like
craziness.
yeah.
It's beautiful to watch, and the pictures from last year alone were like, what a celebration of people in this area.
My mother has been attending the festival since the get-go.
Yep.
I have a picture of us when we walked in the family parade. I think it is 1990, because my daughter is just quite little, and that's the year she was born. And in that picture, there are 4 generations walking in that parade.
Yeah.
So last year, when we did the parade, there were 4 generations walking in the parade again, because my mom was there and her sisters were there, and also my daughter was there with her kids. So we had 4 generations again, and it's fantastic that's
History.
still happening.
Yeah, it's something to be proud of for sure.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, last year, the Irish ambassador to Canada attended and walked in the parade with us, which was incredible. And I remember him saying to me, "There's a lot of flags out. Did they do it for us?" And I'm like, "No, they didn't actually." It's like that, because he's like,
you just lucked in.
Yeah, it just happened to be a good weekend because they were everywhere. But it's and it's funny because of course Veronique is not a typically Irish name, but I am very literally Irish Acadian, 50-50. Mom's got the Irish on her side and Dad's got the Acadian on his. So I get to take it all in, which I love.
And I was a Hallahan, and my sister's
Yes.
Colleen Hallahan.
Exactly.
Much more Irish than that,
That's
can
right.
you?
That's right.
How do you think, though, that rich Irish history that we have here really adds to that, cultural tapestry that we now have here in Miramichi, and how does it impact our community?
You know what? It's funny because our cultural tapestry is growing every day.
Absolutely.
Right? So, which I think is lovely. I love different kinds of foods. I love exotic to me foods. So to see other groups coming in and joining us is fantastic. And it's nice that we still have an Irish core group that is still getting their culture out there as well, to mix and mingle. I think that once you know a group of people, it's a lot harder to dislike them as a group.
Right.
You don't, it's easy to say, oh, I don't like those kinds of people, if you don't know any of them. So when you can have a conglomeration come into a community like this, and then you get to know them, and that, I think, is the way to, bring about better relationships with all different countries and peoples.
True. I
So
love it.
important.
And you talked about food. Susan was talking about food. So what can festival goers, Karen, look forward to in the way of food and drink? What are we going to get?
Well, the festival itself is not doing any food this year, but the we always partner with the Legion, who does their
yes.
like I'm pretty sure it's world famous by
Yes.
now, their corned beef and cabbage meal, which is, you know, you can't go wrong with that.
People love
Just a plug there, 11:30 to 6 on Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th while quantities last.
Exactly.
In order
But they
ahead.
do make a lot, so yeah, they
do
do
they
make a
ever?
lot. So
Yeah.
you should be able to get some. But
Yeah, you might see a familiar face
Yeah.
serving
And
on
nobody
Friday.
really drinks at this festival.
No,
so we,
not a
we
one.
don't even have to talk anymore.
We will just have the Irish whiskey and the usual Guinness and Harp and Kilkenny and you know the traditional Irish drinks.
Well, and there's some great stuff happening down at Middle Island as well,
Yes.
like on the Sunday, which
Yes.
is amazing because this year actually Calico Coffee is in the restaurant down there.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, on a daily basis, and so they're going to be mixing and mingling. But on that Sunday of the Irish Festival, there's lots going on. There's entertainment and everything from 1 till 4, I think it is,
Yes.
on the Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we always count Middle Island in with us, even
Yeah.
though we don't really,
Organize
we're
it.
not organizing that part of it. They organize that themselves, but they're
Yeah.
sort of like a twin sister or something, I guess. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
I love it.
too.
It's amazing.
So, what, Karen, would be one of the funniest, anecdotes you've experienced during a past festival? Tell us some good
You know-
stories.
You know, for a bunch of people that imbibe a fair amount, the weekends are usually pretty calm, and you know, I don't recall any major fights. I don't recall any major accidents. I don't recall anything too traumatic in any of the festivals. However, do you remember when the people pulled the couch through the McDonald's drive-through?
Yes.
Yes. So Raglan Road wrote a song about that. Yes. And one of our committee members found that couch in the woods somewhere. I don't know where.
We didn't ask anything.
No, but that couch showed up on the festival grounds for Raglan Road.
Well, there
For Raglan Road to
That's pretty something.
sing their song about it. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And that went over really well.
That
But
stands out.
Yeah, that stands out. That stands out. That couch being dragged all over the
One of
country.
the things and I know it's the same for most of our big festivals, but one of the things I think people don't realize is that for the committee, planning does start as Susan talked about early the year,
Yes.
almost right after the other festival
Yes.
ends. But the week of the festival, set up and tear down is done by the volunteers,
big
and
job.
it starts on the Wednesday and ends on the Sunday afternoon.
Right. And Sunday morning, most people are not really keen to get up and do anything. I do drink on a rare occasion, but not very often. And during the festival, I don't, because I just don't have it in me to do both. But even without drinking on Saturday night, I am still dead wrung out on Sunday. So the
course.
thoughts of lugging fencing around and stuff is just murder. But it has to be done because,
know.
the city wants their park back.
That's
Yes.
right.
Imagine that.
Not a fun part of it, but essential.
So we do rely a lot on volunteers for a lot of the festival. And this year, that's for every organization. Volunteers are very hard to find. Everybody wants these festivals to take place, and it's going to be a shame. Don't let the festival die off and whatever. But if we don't have volunteers, we just can't do it. Like, the festivals live and die by volunteers.
And how are things looking for your volunteers? Like, at what point are you at for needing more, or halfway there, or bring it on?
We would take as many as we could get right now because they're always useful. But our biggest need right now is for people to man the doors and the ticket tables for.
So not a hard job.
No, not a very hard job, but Saturday night between 10 o'clock and midnight is when it's most difficult to get, because most people want to be at the festival.
Yeah.
But if we don't have people there to sell beer tickets, you can't get a beer.
No.
So
Right.
Exactly.
we really need those
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So where do they get to sign up, and how do they reach
They
out, or
can,
where?
they can contact the festival office to
Yep.
sign up. They can reach out through Facebook on Messenger.
and to stop
They
in,
could
Karen?
send me a text. They could stop into the office.
Which
I will
is
take
where?
volunteers in any way I can get them.
Where is your office
Our
exactly?
office is on Water Street.
Yep.
1745.
Right. I always want to get that number wrong.
Yeah.
1745 Water Street.
People listening,
Yes.
1745 Water Street. You can go in there and say, I want to be a volunteer.
And they will sign you up so quickly,
Sure.
it'd make your head spin.
Well, you're saying you need them, so I hope people are listening.
I
Well,
hope
and that's
so.
the thing, right? And it's the same with every festival,
I know.
right? Is there's a real need.
Yeah.
And it's you're kind of a victim of your own success, right? Everybody wants to be
Everybody
at the
wants to
festival
participate.
because it's a
That's right.
fantastic
Of course,
festival.
of course,
But in
work-
order to make that work, we need the people to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long, hectic weekend. And I was president for a few years, so I know like it takes a lot of work. You know, you were president last year. You know, it takes a lot of work. You're exhausted the whole time. The people your family that have come from away to go to the festival, they just see you running past
Yeah,
mostly.
Yeah, I found last
Yeah.
year caffeine and ibuprofen were my
Oh.
best friends.
Dear,
Yeah.
oh dear.
and probably good shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I know. Poor Patty, when he was president, I think he carried around this massive bottle of ibuprofen in his
Yeah.
pocket to
Oh
keep
my
him
gosh.
at his poor feet.
But it must be worth it because you're back doing it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants to see the festival die.
No.
Right?
Or any of ours, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happens, right? You like, okay, so somebody's got to step up. So
People
I'll do
come
it.
from everywhere.
Everywhere.
When I look at the plates going by,
Yeah.
like from all over
Yep.
Canada,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, wow, I'm so proud that they think this is a happening spot because it is.
I remember when my mother-in-law took in boarders for at that point in time there was so many people coming in from outside because we had people like again, Frank Patterson did the festival one year and whatever. So people were coming from a long way. She would have boarders from the States booking a room as.
Yeah, and I know tickets get sold like from the States
Oh,
and from
yeah,
all over
Quebec,
Canada.
Ontario,
Yeah.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's so wonderful to see so many people out and enjoying, and it's downtown on Waterford Green.
Economically amazing.
The
Oh,
spin-off
it's-
is incredible.
The economic spin-off is amazing.
Yeah.
And we get, I have a lot of people say, this is like Old Home Week. And it is, because a lot of people, a lot of people that I know anyway, book their vacation time around the
Absolutely.
festival because they know that a lot of their other family members are going to be around and they can get together.
Yeah.
Well, we're all done
know.
for today's show. But listen, take part in both festivals. There's so much to do here in the Miramichi. We can't wait to see you this week. Have a great, fantastic week. Enjoy the weather, enjoy each other, and take a little bit of time for you. So wishing you all a great week. We'll see you next week.